So, welcome. I am Karen. This is Runik Dreams Coaching and Tarot, and this reading is Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising. This is what I call a personal growth reading, and keep in mind if this reading doesn't resonate, definitely check your other placements because it is not necessarily a predictive reading. It is more like looking at areas that you may need to work on. So, we're going to take a look at blocks, obstacles, strengths, advice, what you don't see, and then what to look for and where will this lead. Okay, remember that. So I'm using Runik Tarot today. I do personal readings. Link to my websites below. Let's see, and I do have a lot of different offerings, so you could have different spread selections. And let's see. Let's give the cards some energy here. What do our Sagittarians need to know for their personal growth? Also, this is for end of June into end of July, but again, these are personal growth readings, so they're and not predictive, so I believe that they're timeless. You'll come across them when you need to. And let's get going here. Cut the cards. So, two cards for the blocks, and we have Two of Swords and Lovers. Two cards for obstacles or fears, Queen of Swords and Four of Wands. You've got a theme going on the right side. Strengths, Three of Cups, and Hierophant. There's a progression here. It goes Lovers, Four of Wands, Hierophant, and Lovers. Then to me, the Four of Wands is like a ceremony, and definitely the Hierophant can be a commitment. This is probably a little bit on the side, so that's interesting though. So advice, please. Moon and Five of Wands. What you don't see. Knight of Swords. What to look for. King of Swords. That's the same thing, honestly. And then where will all of this lead? I'm going to pull two cards, please. And I'll leave those. Interesting. This is a very interesting reading, and I do believe that it is involved in your love life just because of Lovers. I have Knight of Cups. I have Ace of Cups. I've got Four of Wands. It may not be. It may just be choices because... So the Lovers can be about choices. That card can be about choices, but your blocks are Two of Swords and the Lovers. So there is definitely something that's blocking you, and it has to do with a decision that you need to make, and you're not making it. You're staying stagnant, and that's why it's a block. It's not just telling you you need to make it. You're not making the decision. You're not moving forward with... I feel like it has to do with a relationship in some way, but it could also be just moving forward with making a commitment with somebody. And I'm really looking at that. Like you're stuck on whether you should or you shouldn't make that commitment. And it doesn't feel like, I will tell you honestly, I don't feel like this isn't something that's like huge you can't overcome, because sometimes I do these readings and they're very, very big inner things that we really need. It's going to take longer than a month or two to work on. It's going to take time. This, I feel like, is more understand that you are going to feel the way you feel right now until you make a decision, and that's the most important thing that you need to know. You're not moving forward, and therefore that is like such a block. But I feel like it does have to do with a relationship because we have the Lovers. So we have Two of Swords and the Lovers together. So to me, that says not only is it a decision, it's a decision about somebody or making a commitment. The reason why I say it's about making a commitment is because Four of Wands is about celebration, but in this deck specifically about a love celebration. The Queen of Swords is about you being in your head. So here's what I see, and I see the Queen of Swords, and then over here on this side I have the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. This is about being in your headspace. So also with the Two of Swords, there is some kind of direction that you feel is missing, and you're not being as logical as you would like to be, or your obstacle is that you are being too logical. Instead of following your heart, you're following, I don't know, all of these things inside your head. There's something that keeps probably nagging at you, and it's a thought. I don't think it's an action by somebody else. I think it's a thought within you. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just really, really holding you back. I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't think the decision matters. Like, either whatever you decide is what you decide. I don't know if someone's leaving you an ultimatum. And I think so, just by the outcome. But, until you kind of get out of your head and have to be so completely logical, Queen of Swords, this is an obstacle here. I think the fear could be the Four of Wands, the fear of committing yourself completely to somebody. So there is a fear with all of this as well. So there's something that's got you held back. It could be an old relationship. It could just be the idea of making a mistake. Hey, if I make a commitment and it's a mistake, I don't want to hurt somebody else or have that kind of, thing on my head. I do feel like with your strengths, you do have Three of Cups and the Hierophant. So here's what I think with the strengths. There is definitely a connection here, because the Three of Cups is telling me this is a strength in what you have going on in this situation. And it's about celebrating each other, celebrating a group of people, being together. I mean, in this card, I like it because it's not just showing three women. It's showing a man, a woman, and a child. So it can be any kind of group. It can be any kind of dynamic. But it's about that you have that. And it's very sweet, and it's very nice, and it's very good, and it feels good, and it's celebrating type energy. The Hierophant tells me, though, that it is a strength, but you have firm beliefs about something. And there's something that you have a very firm belief about that's the reason why you can't make this decision. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? If it's the way you believe, it's the way you believe. And don't give in to that at all. If that's what you believe in, then how does that fall into place with the decision that you need to make? And I feel like that is definitely something. There's something very pointed about the way you believe, a belief system, a religion, something. And it's very important to you because it's keeping you from moving forward into a committed relationship. I don't think it's keeping you from moving forward as far as, the way you feel about this person. It's just, do you want to go to the next level? And should you go to the next level? It's more, should you go to the next level? I think that opportunity is already there. It's just, should I, basically. So your advice, and this is important, okay? So you have the Moon and Five of Wands. There's two things here. The Moon tells me that things aren't always as they seem, so don't assume anything here. Don't make assumptions unless you absolutely positively know. So if it's something you need to reach out and ask. Find out. Don't assume. Don't think you know, because the Moon casts shadows. And this is huge when it's talking about advice, because a lot of times when we're trying to make a decision, we may not know all of the truths. And if you really want to know, you need to verbalize. You need to ask. I do have a lot of cards here that are swords, so get out of your head and let it come out of your mouth. Ask the question. And the Five of Wands says, because you're stuck, this is almost causing anger, right? So the Five of Wands, if you look at this card, she's angry and she's stuck, and someone has put her there. So don't allow yourself to get in a position where you feel like someone is keeping you stuck, holding you back. What's holding you back? Okay, so when I go into the beliefs and I start kind of contemplating this, and I'm doing the assumption, I'm using, I'm not using my advice on the moon, but let's just say this relationship is something like your family doesn't agree because they have certain beliefs and this doesn't follow their beliefs and they're holding you back from making this decision. I feel like someone's holding you back. Whatever that is that Five of Wands is saying you have to release that. Because allowing someone else to tie you up and hold you back is not the answer. The answer has to come from you. Whether you want to move forward, whether you want to do this or not, it's not someone else's decision. And yes, if it's a family member, yeah, they're absolutely important to us. But really think about that, because that's what's happening here is the anger is coming from someone else holding you back. That makes a little bit more sense in this whole situation. But also, if you feel like someone's holding you back, like a family member or something, you could just feel like they won't agree with this, or you maybe heard some grumblings. Ask the moon. Things aren't always as they seem. And that's really important advice here, especially when you're trying to make a decision. Don't assume anything here, because I feel like this is a pretty important decision in your life. If this resonates with you, it's a pretty important decision. What we don't see is the Knight of Swords, and what to watch for is the King of Swords. I feel like these are the same energy. But I feel like what this is, it's kind of the obstacle, the Queen of Swords. Watch for being too in your head, but at the same time, I feel like, yes, you do need to watch for those logical answers coming in. Don't stay in your head. Process those. Process them and do something about them and speak up. So when we watch for this Knight of Swords energy, it's something that is going to come in and kind of, I feel like it's going to give you clarity. The Knight of Swords can be all different kinds of energy, but a lot of times swords are about clarity, and they're about being articulate, and they're about speaking truths, and they're our voice and our thoughts. And so if we are, by having that Knight of Swords come in, it could mean that there will be something that comes in that either you learn the truth. Yeah, there's more clarity to the truth. And then King of Swords is what to watch for, is that next level up. Because we got Knight of Swords, King of Swords. So I feel like you keep that in the back of your mind and watch out for it in your peripheral vision, that there is something out there. There's an energy there that's going to give you a lot more clarity. And part of that is the going back to the advice with the moon. Don't think you know the answer. Ask. That's the important thing with this reading. I truly believe that you're trying to make a decision on something that you're not completely clear about. You think you're clear about it, and that's why you're stuck, but you're probably not 100%. And even if you are, by asking and verifying, then you know for sure what you need to do, or it'll help you a lot by knowing 100%. And I feel like that's what the Knight of Swords is and the King of Swords. That's going to come in. But you do got to look for it because you don't see it. It's what you don't see, the Knight of Swords. What to watch for is the King of Swords. So your outcome and where this all leads is the Ace of Cups and Eight of Cups. So you're not going to like me because this is like totally two different cards. The Ace of Cups is a new relationship and the Eight of Cups is walking away from something. Here's what I think. I think the Eight of Swords, because I could look at this and say it's going to be one thing or the other. Either you're going to stick it and have this brand new relationship and it's going to be great, or you're going to walk away and choose to leave it. But to me, together, what they're saying really is, the love that you have, this leads you to a new way of viewing something, of viewing the relationship. I do believe that it will lead to the truth because of all of these swords that to watch for. But I believe that Eight of Cups says you are going to go in the right direction. I am not going to tell you that you're going to make a decision to leave this person, but you are going to leave something that doesn't serve you anymore. And that could be someone that's holding you back. And that could be whatever this Five of Wands is. And I do believe that because it's the Ace of Cups, which to me is a positive card. The Eight of Cups is actually a positive card, but it does talk about leaving something that no longer serves you. And I think it's because you realize with the Ace of Cups what's really important to you. And then you go, you know what? I can walk away from this. I don't necessarily need this. And I really feel like that's what the energy is telling you. So there you have it. The bottom of the deck is Knight of Cups. So I do feel like this is about love as well. I didn't bring that up, but it was sitting there. And a lot of times I talk about the bottom of the deck. And that kind of like cues me to the like what the overall reading is about. So yeah, it is about love. But you know, love can be a lot of different things. So this is about a decision that you need to make. Another thing it could be is like, you know, let's say if you're getting an offer for work and someone doesn't think you should take it because it's going to take you away from them or take you away from where you live or something like that too. But whatever this decision is, it's important. It's really important. So really look at all your options and ask, don't assume anything. This moon advice is really important. So there you have it, Sagittarius. I hope this resonated. If it did, please hit the like button, give me a comment, even if it didn't. I like comments, period, because it tells me like, you know, like, what's happening. So take care and have a beautiful day.